From libraries to schools, almost every public service in New York City has seen significant budget cuts this year. So what do those cuts look like for early childhood education? Producer Maggie Cole with the story.
No matter how amazing your reading program is, no matter how many great things you have going on in the building, but if you have no kids in the building, then we're defeating the purpose.
New Yorkers United for Childcare say Mayor Eric Adams has cut an estimated $400 million from early childcare programs since 2022. And there are plans to cut another 14% of the budget in 2025.
Early childhood, which is a foundation, is also losing $170 million. That's for working parents. That's incredible. It was such a game changer. And they have to find a way to sustain that, keep that in the budget, and making sure they also provide seats for our preschool students with disabilities.
We've come together because we are deeply concerned about devastating cuts to education programs that could happen as soon as July. These are investments that we've called for years. We've always wanted to see more social workers. We've wanted to make sure that young children with autism get the programs and services that they need. And we are glad that the city made these investments, but now the funding is going away, and we absolutely need these programs to continue.
Amidst looming budget cuts and growing class sizes, some parents have chosen to take their children out of public schools to give their kids a more individualized education at places like Grand Street Settlement, a community-based program that provides an alternative to public or private early childhood education.
They were actually in public school before this. It was not working. It was one 3K classroom with an elderly teacher. There was too many kids to one classroom. My kids are very active. She had a hard time dealing with them. They lasted maybe 2 days in there before I noticed her face was like she couldn't. And I opted to disenroll them, and the very next day enroll them here.
Often community-based programs like Grand Street actually face even more budget cuts than public schools when the city decides to pass more cuts.
So our CBO, our not-for-profit programs, they're hit the most and the first. When the initiative came out to build 3K, it was for public schools. Now they had no more slots and realized we have all these 3K children, where do we go? Oh, community-based programs. We've been doing the work already, but we make up where public school can. When there's cuts, we are the first and most proactive to fix where those cuts are, to supplement in the program so that we don't feel it the hardest.
The budget cuts were unnecessary because when the council did a fiscal dive, we realized that we had unexpected revenues. And we kept on telling the administration that we saw this funding, there was no need for the cuts. The mayor gets to cut, and all I can do is yell, and I'm always yelling. So what were those numbers? How can you cut or put people on wait list if you don't know how many seats you have? I'm always looking at what can we do to make sure that New York City students, their experience in a school building is one they will remember. If we do not educate, we're going to incarcerate. So we must make those investments in school. This is not the time to pull away. This is the time to invest. Invest in New York City kids.
That was producer Maggie Cole reporting.